Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here for another live session with Gerald. So I'm going to go ahead and set this room up real quick, and then we will get started with this mentoring session. So let me just get this set up real quick. All right. Looks like we're good to go. So let me just send this link out real quick to Gerald real quick, and then we should be good. Copy that link. I think we're good right there. Just waiting for Gerald to show up real quick, and then we can get started. So let me see if there's any trades that are available right now. It's like US 30 is bouncing up a bit. Let's see if there's any zones around here. All right, I'm gonna mark these up as we wait for Gerald to come into this room. Hey Gerald, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yo, yo, yo.
How's it going, man? How's your day going?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm good, man. Every day, man. Every day you're alive, you're healthy, it's a blessing. Every day is a blessing,
Exactly.
regardless.
Yeah, I agree. That's all you gotta look forward to.
Every day.
We hear
Every day, you heard me?
exactly, 100%.
But I definitely, man, I definitely want to show love and appreciation, man, because I know you don't have to do this. No, for real, man. I don't take nothing for granted. I've been through a lot in life, man. I've been very inconvenienced a lot in life. I didn't inconvenience a lot. I know how it is. You could just be off doing your own thing. You ain't had to share this to none of us, none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm grateful for every day too. I'm grateful for having to be able to trade like this, man. Like make a living off this. So, there's enough profit to go around. A lot of people like to be greedy about it and they don't want to share the secrets, but in reality, your time here is only so long. So I might as well leave a legacy here for you guys to follow, once I'm long gone.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Because the market makers definitely ain't.
Yeah, and that's why we focus more on these scalps now because the way that the market's been moving this year, it's been different. I'm not sure if you were taking the trades last year, but last year the market was moving a little smoother and it was able to take like we would be able to take the intraday trades a lot easier. But now the market's kind of choppy. It's all over the place. It's like literally going back and forth every other hour. So that's why
So what do you
these scalps
so
have been.
what do you so what do you think that is? Market manipulation possibility? Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a back and forth process. We have a new president and everything, so all these policies getting set out and stuff going on in the world that's causing, price to bounce around. Because the technicals are still there, but it's not as smooth as it was last year. Because obviously last year, the market was just going to shit. So it's like it was easy to just take trades in one direction. But like now, everything is starting to like balance out. So it's kind of just going back and forth. So, I don't know how long this is going to last for. Things might smoothen out within the next couple of months or so. Because generally, I'm not sure if you understand how the market moves like in seasons, but usually in the summer, it moves kind of slow. So we'll see. We got March, January, March, April, May, June. So we got about 3 months until summer. So I think until then, we'll probably realize whether the market starts to move smoother or if it's going to keep bouncing around how it's been doing.
Yeah, I understand the seasons. Yeah, I've been kind of scared of the markets, and I haven't had too much success, like in late November, December, maybe like the first half or 2/3 of January. Hopefully that'll change.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And around that time, that's usually the risky time anyways, because during the holidays, that's where the market's it's really choppy. Like during the summer, the market's just slow. But in the winter, that's when it's choppy because of the holidays. It's like some people like there's like different times when a lot of people are trading and sometimes where just nobody's trading. And it's kind of hard to tell because, you know, a lot of these holidays are universal, you know, like Thanksgiving, a lot of people celebrate that, Christmas, of course, and New Year's and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, this is the time where to make the most money. Like usually this is where I'm most profitable, like early on in the year. Then the summer, it's like back and forth. It's still profitable, but it's a little slower. But in the winter, that's where it gets kind of choppy and risky. So I try to take it easy once we get to like November.
I've seen people crush it though
Yeah, no, some
during
people
the
do crush.
holidays.
Yeah, no, some people do crush it, but it just depends. Like not everyone does. Like, let me check the results real quick, because I don't even know how we did. Maybe we did good during the winter. I just don't remember. Let me see. Let's go to results real quick. So I'll go to the results from like the end of the year. Let's see where we were at around like New Year's. So let's see. So actually, yeah, I mean, actually, it wasn't that bad. Like November was kind of slower. It was like we made like 900 pips, but like, you know, comparing it to like the summer and like March we're making like 3,000 pips, a big difference.
Oh, wow.
3,000 pips to like 1,000 pips to like 2,000 pips. And then it just kind of dwindled a little bit down around November. But we got to remember that this year, November was a presidential election. So it was kind of slow. You know, it was slow in the beginning. And then at the end, it was a holiday. So we were really only trading in the middle of the month. You know, versus something like March here, where it's a heavy month. Like this is probably the most profitable month we had last year in 2020. We locked in a lot of profit during that month. So I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. You know, we don't know what this year is going to be like, but obviously we're going to find ways to make profit one way or another. We're not going to let that stop us.
I mean, at the end of the week and the end of the month, to have positive pips is a blessing. Every group and every person doesn't necessarily have it. Plus, a good, decent win percentage around like 80%, 75, 80%, you know.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree. You know, as long as you're profitable, that's what really matters because you're just compounding profits month after month, really.
Man, Shawn, you got me starting to really hating Forex, man, because these scalps, man, these indices, man, they look too tantalizing.
I agree, man. I agree. I know I still like Forex, but that's not my main thing anymore. You know, US 30 is my main thing. Like this is what I know how to trade. This is what I kill at. So it's like I'm on point with US 30 every single day. I still make profits off Forex, but it's nothing compared to what I'm making off US 30. Because I can make a whole week's worth of Forex profits just trading US 30 like one day. And it's just a rinse and repeat every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We'll find a way to profit off it regardless.
I mean, what's crazy is that it almost seems like US 30 will move 500 to 1,000 pips before Forex pair move like 10 or 15 pips.
Yeah, no,
it's
exactly.
Like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny because I used to be really against US 30 because I didn't understand it before. Like I didn't even know how it moved. I was like, oh, this is a crazy pair because it would move so fast. And I just thought about the worst that can happen. You know, like whenever I saw people trade US 30, I'm like, man, I could lose a lot of money doing this. But once I figured out how it moved, like I started trading it more and more often, I was like, dang, this is actually a gold mine, bro. Because this thing is always moving. This thing is so volatile compared to Forex pairs. Like you can make so much, like you can take so many trades off US 30 versus, you know, waiting, like you're waiting for paint to dry for like, what do we have? We got a couple positions running for Forex here. Let's see, we got like, what do we even have running right now? Like, oh, JPY. Like, man, I called this trade like I don't even know how long ago, and this thing's barely moved at all. So oh yeah, right here. So we called this trade like 6 hours ago, bro. It's only moved like how many pips? We called this, yeah, 8 hours ago. It's only been moving from entry. It's only moved like 4 pips. That's nothing, you know. Like I'm literally watching paint dry with this object. Like this will probably hit. Don't get me wrong, it'll probably hit, but we're gonna wait a long time until it actually hits.
Man, you can't even buy a candy bar with 4 pips.
I mean, if you're taking like 100 lot, then maybe you could buy something, but you're not taking 100 lot. Yeah.
What you gonna do with 4 pips?
Exactly, right? Yeah. Like, yeah, even if you were taking like a standard lot, you'd only make like $40 off it. Like it's really not, it's really nothing compared to US 30. Like, it's crazy how like quickly we can hit profits. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you could make a decent amount of money off US 30 with the smallest lot size.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, because if you're trading, the smallest lot size, you're still trading like $1 a pip, basically, or even less than that, maybe 10 cents per
What,
pip,
10 cent, 10
10
cent,
cents, yeah.
yeah.
But in reality, you're hitting like 500 pips. That's like 50 bucks right there
Right,
in
yeah,
a few minutes, right?
right, yeah. And if
Yeah,
you do that multiple times a day, who knows? You might have 250, 500, 1,000, depending on, how long
exactly.
you
Yeah,
at it. So that's why I definitely wanted to hook up with you to make sure, I could master the strategy. I had family issues and relationship issues and money issues. So I took a couple months off of trading. I was in the signals group for a nice little while. I would message you from time to time. And then I come back to this. I come back to a gold mine. So it's like, oh wow, you know.
yeah, you came back just in time, and it's
I
funny
when I
because oh, go ahead, go. What are you saying?
when I stopped trading, or uh, Bitcoin was at about like trading anywhere from like 8 to 12K, and
Oh,
then it's like it seems like I look up and now it's at 50K. I said, wait a minute, what happened?
exactly. A lot has happened since you were gone. Because I know I was talking to you like a lot, like earlier last year, right? And then I stopped. You kind of like went off for a bit, and then you came back. I think late last year or like earlier this year. And then
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's crazy because it was like you haven't even like it seemed like you never left because we were so busy here with K2 and like with our new
right.
strategies and stuff that time just flew by.
I still need that K2 song, man. You know what I'm saying? That thing hot.
Right?
I
Yeah,
still need it.
I gotta get Izzy to make a longer version of that. It's like a little
The full
snippet.
version. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny because you were around when that song first came out, like when he first made that song, and then you came back
Mm-hmm.
they're still bumping it till now.
Yeah, I need that. I was looking for it on Apple Music.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I gotta get him to put it on there because I think it's his master, so I don't want to put it on there and then I get copyrighted and it's like, oh,
Right,
take this
right,
song
right. It's
down.
hot though. It's hot, man. You gotta put it, you definitely gotta put it. You gotta be more consistent and put it on the beginning of all the videos or at least the end or something.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. So I usually put them on the normal videos, but for these mentoring sessions, because I'm going on live, so I don't think. Well, maybe I could figure out a way to do that to edit it, but
Uh-oh. We might have some,
like
y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, hold up.
we had a pending signal right here. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got
Hold
this
on,
pending.
y'all.
Okay, so if this ends up closing right here, I mean it's crazy because this daily entry is still running. Do you still have this running, or did you close it already?
What happened was I had to pay some tickets today at this courthouse in the suburbs. I'm in Chicago right now.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I was like trying to listen to you. It was just a whole mess. And I'm waiting in line and my phone died and just but what happened was I got kicked out in profit when the trade retraced.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's good. As long
So
as you don't kick out
retraced,
in profit,
but
I was like, that's the main
yeah.
thing. Because
Yeah, my main thing is always to try to move the trade into profit. Maybe when I think I might do it a little bit too early, maybe like 300 to 400 pips in profit or whatever. I'll move it to a little bit above break even because I'm not trying to pay like, even like 10 cents or $1. It's always like a few pips up. Like I don't
exactly.
personally believe in like break even. My break even is like a few pips up to.
Yeah, because you want to cover those fees. Sometimes if you just
Right, right, right.
keep breaking even and you're like got to pay these commissions, you're like, damn, you're losing money. It adds up.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like that. Obviously you've been doing it 3 times as long as me. I've been doing it for 3.5 years, but I mean, I've account management, account blown, a couple robots I bought, wasted money, uh, probably maybe at least 150 signal providers,
Yeah,
um,
you're all
so
over the
many
place, huh?
courses and strategies, different trading systems. I seen it all. You know what I'm saying? So this is when I put my stamp of approval on something or when something really catches my eye, trust me, I've been through the fire, man. I've been through it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you came back. You're coming around and you came back and you left and you came back and it's funny because a lot of people come to K2 and they'll leave for a bit and then they always come back and they're like, damn, I should have never left.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I just completely stopped trading,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
I
you took a
just,
break for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, my mind, my money, just all type of stuff. Uh, family issues, health issues, just relationship issues, just every issue in the book. But I'm back and I'm better, so I'm trying to get it cracking, man. But
Yes.
I just really wanted to make sure I had this down packed, and because I felt like I was like seeing ghosts and just like imagining the trades that weren't there.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So let's do you have some trades in mind that you want to cover? Or do you just want to go over the strategy in general?
Well, I had some questions I wrote down,
Hmm.
so I don't know if you want to start with
Oh yeah.
those first.
Yeah, we
But
can do that.
my
That's probably easier.
my main, okay, so let me see. So what trading view membership would you recommend? Right now, I have the $29.95 a month.
That's the Pro Plus, right? Let me see real quick.
I forgot what it's called,
Let
or it might be just, yeah, I think so. I
me
forgot
see if I can
what
find
it's
it
called
online.
exactly. It's the second from the top level. So I believe it's like a free one, and then it's one for like 14.95, and then 29.95, and 59.95 or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I think you got the Pro
Yeah, I
Plus,
have
right?
Pro Plus right now. Yeah.
So I think Pro Plus is pretty solid. I mean, this is probably you pretty much have everything that you need here. The only difference with premium is, I mean, if you want to have a ton of alerts, which I don't think you really even need, it's not something that I necessarily think is necessary. Um, but yeah, so right here you get, yeah, you pretty much get everything from Pro, but then you also get like the main thing here. I think that would be the difference would be your alerts. That's probably the main thing. The indicators don't really matter because you only need like two indicators on the chart, the K2 indicators. So that's probably not required. Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I think you're pretty solid with the Pro Plus. I mean, if this is really an issue where you want to like downsize, I mean, you can go to the Pro, but I think Pro Plus is pretty solid overall.
I want as many alerts as possible, honestly. Like I'm not
Gotcha.
trying to miss too many scalps.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Pro Plus might be good because it gives you 30 alerts. So like if you want to have like different alerts for different indices, you can do that. And,
Right.
and that'll
Right.
be perfect. Because right here on the Pro, you only get 10 alerts. So that's kind of,
Yeah.
it's not enough, especially
Right.
if you want to trade more than one pair. If you're trading one pair, that's cool because you just have, one setup. But like for the Pro Plus, I like to set alerts. Like you've seen me, I like to set alerts for the TP. I like having alerts set up for the stop loss, just so I know what's going on. Um,
Right.
and I think that's probably your best option. So I think you're pretty solid with the Pro Plus. The Premium, obviously, you're gonna have a lot more options, but I mean, it's not necessary, honestly. Like the only reason I'm on premiums because I have the indicators on here, the K2 indicators. So
Okay. Okay.
that's the main reason why I went to premium and for the alerts. But if you're not putting
Hmm.
alerts, because for me, I'm trading like all these pairs here, so I need the alerts. But for
Hmm.
you, if you're just trading indices, then I think Pro Plus is fine.
So speaking of which, like as far as alert wise, like what would what alert like would I use or whatever? Like a pivot alert?
Yeah. So like let me show you real quick. So like, I mean, right here, it's not going to be relevant because price is like, it's at the pivots, but like, let me go to another
Hmm.
pair and like, let's see the DAX or something like that.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a live example. It could be like a previous example.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, for sure. So like, let me see this real quick. So like,
And this is being recorded, right?
yeah, yeah, it's recorded. So I'll give you the link for this if
Okay.
you want to rewatch it, or if you can just go on YouTube,
Yeah.
you'll know the dates a second. So
Okay.
you'll have
Yeah,
your
definitely.
second one. So yeah, for example, right here. So say price is like below the pivots, right? It's super far off. And say you want to take a sell scalp right here, right? So basically what you would do is you set an alert at this pivot. So when price comes up and tests the pivot, so right here, when it touches the pivot, it hasn't touched it yet, but like, let's see, like right there. So right here, it touches the pivot. You can set an alert to let you know when it touches the pivot. Because then once you know it touches the pivot, you'll be like, all right, some scalps are going to be coming up soon because now you're looking for that rejection off the pivot in the structure. So right here, you have an alert to alert you when it touches the pivot. At this point, you wouldn't be wasting time looking at the chart right here for like this whole, what is it, like an hour, 2 hours right here, because it's too far from the pivot. But as price touches the pivot right here, you can set an alert to this pivot. So it'll alert you like, hey, Gerald, like check out the chart, price is getting close to these pivots. And then once you set that up, you're like, all right, cool. So you start looking for some entries here. And then like, for example, like right here, you're like, all right, cool. Now we have an entry right here because you would have been alerted to check out the chart. So once you check out the chart, you're like, all right, there's an entry right here because it rejects off the pivot and the structure, this yellow pivot. And off the structure, you can enter your short position right there. You're going for that little 500 pips right there. You let it run, and there goes your money. See? So that's what
Show
you
me
do.
the money.
Exactly, right? And that's like, you wouldn't be staring at the chart like this whole time right here. But then as soon as price touches the pivot, like right here, you're like, all right, I should probably look at the chart. And then you're just waiting for it to reject off that point. Once it does, you enter that position, and there you go. You made 500 pips in like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, I guess.
Oh, okay. How do I set that alert?
Gotcha. So like right here, it's not going to work right here because price is at the pivot. But basically what you would do is you would click alert right here.
Okay.
You would click on, you already have it set at US 30. So this would be set at US 30, which would be the asset. And then down here where it says value, you click this drop down, click on K2 pivot. And then depending on which pivot you want to be alerted from, obviously level 1 is going to be green, level 2 is going to be yellow, level 3 is going to be orange. If price is far from it, you're going to pick the first level, obviously, right? The green one. So that'll be level 1. But like, say for example, like right here, it's touching the green one, right? And you're like, all right, I need it to touch the yellow for me to take the trade or whatever. So in that case, you would just change it to level 2. But in most instances, you're only going to want to set alerts because once price gets near the pivots, you actually want to pay attention because you might miss a move. But this is pretty much how you would set it up. You just set the first condition to US 30. You set the second condition to K2 pivots. You could, change the level, but level 1's obviously going to be the most important. And then once you have that, you can set your options to either just once, which is probably going to be the best option because you don't want to get a bunch of alerts for every time it touches it, right? You just want to know that first time so that you know when to look at the chart. So once you get that set up, you can set it to only once per bar close. I just have it once. And then if I want another alert, I'll just reset it. I'll set the alert another time. Because you don't want to get alerts all the time. You just want to get alerts when you're actually looking for a trade. So once you have that set up, you can just change the message here, like US 30 or like check US 30 or something like that. Check US 30. And then you just click create. So like once price comes up and touches the pivot, it'll send you an alert telling you, like check US 30. And then you'll check it. And then if there's an entry there, you can take the trade. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I think this will be very good for other students and people trying to learn because this is very comprehensive. What happened is maybe like my first year and a half of trading, I was just trying to basically just take signals and make money off of signals, and then from there, I figured, I could start expanding toward learning how to trade on my own, which didn't happen because the signals were terrible or average at best. But when I started actually doing different strategies, I started out on TradingView, but I ended up moving over to MT4. So I know MT4 like the back of my hand. So now I'm getting back to TradingView or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like MT4 is all right, but the thing with MT4 is it's so outdated, bro. Like the stuff on MT4 is way outdated compared to TradingView. Like you could do so much on TradingView in comparison to MT4. Like MT4 is cool if you're just doing basic stuff, drawing trend lines and stuff like that. But if you want to start using, the K2 indicators, obviously, and drawing zones like this, it makes a huge difference because you can like zoom out from here and you can see everything, right? If you're on MT4, you can only go back so far. In this screen here, it's kind of like it looks different, right? So
I take off the grid and I change the channels to red and black, and I have like different indicators and systems and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So like if you know how to use it, yeah, you can use it. But if you're comparing it to TradingView, there's a lot more stuff you can do on TradingView versus
Yeah, I see.
Like I
So
don't
I'm
even
back to TradingView.
Yeah, could you even set alerts on MT4 or no?
Yes and no, actually.
Okay.
So it really not like TradingView, but like let's say if the individual indicator has the capability built inside of it, then you could.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because a lot of
But it
people were
would,
asking me that. They were like, "Can you set like an alert for a TP or stop loss?" And I'm like, honestly, bro, I have no idea because I don't use it like that. So I didn't know if you could do that or not.
oh well, no, you couldn't. You can't set an alert for a TP or stop loss unless they have some type of indicator for that. That
Oh,
would send a alert to your phone via MC4. But actually, I've had a lot of problems with that. Like
oh
uh,
gosh. Okay.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's stupid and weird. So I guess it really is old and archaic. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, you can keep using it. But I'm just, for me specifically, I never really got a hang of it, so I never really started using it. Like I only use MT4 to execute my FTMO trades because that's the
mm,
only platform that's really available right now. So I mean, that's what I got at this point. But if they do open up a broker that works on TradingView, I'll probably just switch over because it just makes things so much easier if I can just trade directly on the chart.
right, right. No, as far as like MC4, like a lot of different authors and developers, they make indicators.
Hmm.
So it's probably like thousands of indicators that just do all type of stuff that MC4 doesn't have. So like that's how people use it.
Gosh, okay, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no, definitely, I agree.
Kind of like with the phone, you have like different apps or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I've the library.
so
It's pretty wide.
so I so I remember you saying something about, okay, so you have multiple FTMO accounts,
Yeah,
and I believe you said that you can take a trade on one account and it'll automatically copy it to another account.
that's correct. I use social trader tools. So let me show you real quick.
Man, that is crazy because I was thinking like I wish something like that existed, and when you brought it up, I'm like, oh man, hold on.
Yeah, I've been using this right here. The only problem with this right here is that it's hard to use if you're using different brokers. Like for me, I tried to copy my FTMO trades to my Hugo's way, and
Mm,
it doesn't always copy over because the pricing is different. So I've changed the
okay,
settings, I've played around with it, but sometimes like the annoying thing is that like if your pricing is different, it'll only execute if you go into drawdown. And sometimes you don't go into drawdown at all. So like in some instances, it'll take certain trades and then it won't take all your winning trades that go straight to TP because it never goes into drawdown. So that's where it becomes a little iffy. So like I'm even thinking about like just not even trading on my Hugo's way anymore. I'm probably just gonna because I just saw that FTMO does a 200K account, so I'm probably gonna do that and then just get a 400K account. So there's really no point in me trading my personal anymore because I can just trade FTMO.
I heard you say that earlier, but I only saw 100,000 on the website
Oh yeah, yeah.
today.
No, let me see if I pull it up for you real quick. Let's see. See if I can pull it up right
And
here. Yeah.
how much does social traders cost?
So if you only have a couple accounts, I think if you have like one or two accounts, it's free. If you just want to copy those
Okay.
two, if you
Mm,
add like a fourth or fifth account, it's like $60 a month, which is not that bad because if you're
right.
trading multiple FTMOs, it's gonna pay it off easily. It's not a big
Oh
deal.
yeah, most definitely. You get
Yeah.
what you pay for. Yeah, so I'm definitely thinking about probably upgrading my TradingView membership to the top premium because I
Mhm.
want to just have all type of alerts. I want to be alerted for everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what it is. It's
Oh, oh
so
wow. Okay,
yeah.
I
So
see the 200,000 now.
yeah, so they got the 200,000. It's kind of pricey. It's inexpensive. I mean, it's just 100K time. It's just double the price. So for here, it's like 540 euros, but here it's just if you just add that up, it's gonna it's gonna add up to the same thing. It's not
You know
even.
what happened? I was looking at FTMO on my phone, so maybe they didn't update it for the mobile website, or
Yeah,
maybe the
yeah.
phone cut it off. So I definitely didn't see 200,000 earlier.
Yeah, so they got
Okay.
this right here. I don't know if you heard what happened to my FTMO. Like I had a 300K, but then what happened? I had three different accounts, but what happened was I was trading on Martin Luther King Day, and it was a holiday.
Mm.
So it was a rule that I didn't think about that you couldn't trade US 30 into the holiday. So what happened was I took the trade, and then they disabled my account because I broke one of the rules. So now I'm stuck with only two accounts. So now that they got
Mm.
this. instead of me doing one account, I should just do this, and then I just merge them into one big 400K account. So that's I'm thinking about signing up for it right now. Actually, probably after this session, I'm gonna sign up for it, and then I'm
So
just
they allow you to merge your accounts on FTMO? Oh
yeah.
wow. Okay.
So yeah, before the max was okay, US 30 jump. Yeah, before the max was 300K.
600,
Uh,
300.
yes, it was three 100K accounts. That was the max. And
Mm.
then they switched it to now the 400. So like I think I'm probably just gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna merge them because it's crazy, bro. If you think about it, because I already make like 10%, every time like per month or whatever. So like for example, bro, if you're doing like a 400K account and then you're locking in 10%, like bro, you're locking in 40K a month, like easy, like on that account. And you do this like a year, like that's a lot. It's like 480K if you're
So
consistent.
do you scalp on FTMO, or do you do both, or what?
That's all I do. I just scalp on there. It's basically my main scalping account.
Okay. Okay.
So that's pretty much all I do on my FTMO. I just scalp now. I don't I take my Forex trades on my forex.com account because I just let those run and I take the trades directly. But I don't necessarily take them on my FTMO. The reason for that is because I don't want to overdo my leverage, like overdo my loss limit. Because that's what happens with a lot of people. A lot of people fail FTMO because they go over their max limit and they don't even realize it because they're taking too many trades at once.
So you'll just do one scalp at a time?
No, I'll stack the scalps, but I won't mix my Forex with US 30 because they're worth
Okay.
different.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. No, what I meant, like, will you scalp multiple pairs at once, like maybe the DAX and US 30?
Oh yeah. I'll do that. I'll do that because I'm only scalping. I'm taking like quick trades. I'm not
Okay.
on the trade, for a long time. It's just for a few seconds, few minutes. Just depends.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, what do you think the average time of a scalp is? Would you say?
Average time for a scalp is probably like a couple minutes.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Into the scalp right here. There we go. I just got into the scalp on my account.
Oh, okay. I used to scalp with a guy. Sometimes his scalps would take hours, and he would literally, like, his goal was like 10 pips, and like it was like a couple times where it went in like 100 to 200 pip drawdown. It just totally killed me. I said, won't be scalping any much longer.
Yeah, no, I mean, it depends on what you're trading. For something like US 30, this moves so fast that you don't necessarily have time to.
No, it would be a Forex pair.
Oh yeah, Forex pair, those take forever, bro. Like a long time. So it just depends on what you're trading. If you're trading Forex, obviously it's going to take longer, but if you're trading something like US 30, this thing moves so fast where you don't really have to hold on for that long.
How new is this strategy, Shawn?
Actually, I've been using the strategy for a long time. It's just I just introduced it to you guys recently because like before I would trade a little differently. Uh, what I would do before is I wouldn't implement the structures. I was only implementing pivot rejection. So like for example, I didn't have the structure
Okay.
on there, and when I would see this right here, like this rejection off this red candle, I would take the buy there.
Mhm. Okay.
But then I would run into some losses, right? Like I would hit some losses, and I'm like, damn, I got to figure out some way to make this better, where I don't run
Mhm.
into these issues. So that's when I implemented the structures here because I was like, oh, there's got to be something. So like for example here, like this would have been a loss right here possibly if I took this because they just rejected off the pivot. But if I waited for
Mhm.
it to reject off the structure and the pivot down here, it would win. So I've been using the strategy for a long time. I've been like originally I was a scalper. The only reason I went to intraday is for the signals because you can't give scalping signals, right? It moves too fast. So
Right. Right.
I would always be scalping. Like I'm originally a scalper. This is like what I'm good at. I'm good at scalping because I like to get in and out
Okay.
quick. But I only went into intraday because it's hard to teach people scalping. Like literally, you have to like know what you're doing to scalp. But I was able to figure out a way to teach you guys. So like now we're all able to do it. Because normally for this, I don't really think about it, bro. Like if you see me on my lives, like if I like even right now this trade right here, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'm gonna take this trade, and then I took that scalp, and that's normally how I scalp. But I had to figure out a way to teach you guys because it's not. This isn't something that you just pick up without having any previous knowledge, right? It's something that you kind of got to learn. And I was able to teach you guys by showing you like through the K2 indicators. So this strategy has technically been around for a long time, and I've been applying this strategy for years now. It's just I'm just introducing it to you guys now because it's a scalping market. You know, like whenever I trade, I figure out what's working best, and then once I figure that out, I teach it to you guys. Like I'm not really hiding anything from you guys. If I find something that works, I'll share with you guys, and then we all profit off it.
Okay, so I understand the fact of the wick rejecting off a pivot and the pivot not crossing into the body of the candle. But could you give me some more clarification as far as the candle rejecting off a structure, as far as how far does it have to go inside of structure?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So it doesn't really have to reject off that much. All you want to see is a wick rejection. So like, for example, right here, you see how the wick's kind of pushing off the structure and then it comes down
Right.
like this right here. This is considered a rejection off the structure. It doesn't have to be like outside. It doesn't have to push all the way below the structure. It just needs to be a wick rejection. The rejection off the structure is secondary. Like, how I was mentioned before, this strategy
Okay,
already.
this candle, this
Okay.
candle, to the left, do you see 31620 pivot point?
Okay, I see you right there. Yeah.
That long green candle? No,
Yep.
to the candle, the green candle to the left of it. It has
This.
a long wick. So
Oh,
would you consider that rejecting off a structure?
this one right here.
Yeah, that candle.
Yeah. So this one right here. Yeah. This is a perfect rejection off the structure.
Okay, all right. And so basically all of those candles except the red candle next to it. So not the red candle, but the green long candle next to it is projecting off a structure, then the green candle next to it and the red candle next to it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of giving you a story.
Okay.
It's kind of showing you that, price came up. Like, for example, let me just move this over. So for this green candle that you're just looking at, price came up, rejected off the structure. Price came up again, rejected off the structure. Came up again right
Okay.
here, rejected until it finally came down, right? So
But
it's
it
just,
has to also reject off of a pivot from the same direction, or the pivot would have to be on top of those candles, basically.
exactly,
So
yeah.
the pivot, okay, so the pivots below it are like irrelevant, basically. They wouldn't constitute a
Uh,
trade.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like if you understand how to read these, how to like read what's going on here, like basically right here, you can see that price is kind of tightening, right? So price, but you can see that these act as like barriers. So like, for example, right here, price is going up, right? It's going up and it's bouncing off the pivot. So it's bouncing off the pivots, it's bouncing up, bouncing off the pivots, pushing up. As it gets right here, it gets into a little squeeze. So at this point, it's squeezing between the pivots and the structure right here. So as soon as it drops below, it just comes dumping down, right? Because it breaks out of this little squeeze. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So they kind of act like bumpers. They're like bumpers from the bottom, and then these are bumpers from the top. So as it gets closer, the bumpers are getting so tight where there's just so much space right here, and then it just breaks right through it, and then it swings down to here, and then it just becomes new bumpers in the opposite direction. So there's bumpers up here, it breaks down here. Now there's bumpers from top and bottom on this side too.
I mean, I think I pretty much had it from just watching a lot of your lives, thank God. Plus, like also going back and watching pre-recorded videos. I just wanted to get a few things clarified in my mind. And also, I think my main problem is I've learned so much garbage that I have to like unlearn it and forget it. And like, I'm like, I don't know. I just keep thinking of like breaks and retests, like different variations of that or whatever.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of information out there. A lot of it's not even good information. It's just like it's people learning from other people and then trying to change it up a bit to make it their own. And then they don't even change it up in a good way where it just becomes worse than what it already was. So like yeah, whenever there's a lot of people in K2 that come from other groups and they come and they're like, damn, this is like it's like their eyes just open, once they reach K2, they're like, damn, if I knew this from the beginning, it would have been a lot easier.
Right.
But that's like the hard like that's the hard part. If you learn from someone else, if you learn from a different group that that doesn't really know what they're doing, it's different. That's the thing with K2. Like for this, I created this on my own, right? I created the strategy, so it's not like I'm not reteaching something that someone else is teaching. Like this is literally something that's totally different compared to what everyone else is doing. So yeah, like what you said, it's going to be a little hard for you to unlearn what you learned, but eventually once you're able to get over that hump, it should be smooth sailing from there.
Okay, so like I said, I'm just now getting back to trading view. How do you do okay, so the red and green rectangles on top of each other, like the TP and stop loss zone.
Mhm.
How do I do that? Because you do it so quickly, I can't even see exactly what you're doing. Some of the things I could just pick up, just trial and error, and I could like see exactly what you're doing on the screen and kind of mimic it, learn it. But I can't see how you like create those zones.
Oh, like this box right here?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, like so open this box, you just go to this tool right here. It'd be the prediction and measurement tools. You just click this drop down,
Oh,
and then there'll be a
okay.
short position and a long position right there. So depending on what you're taking,
Oh,
like
okay.
for example, if you were taking a long position here, you click the long tool, you click on the chart, and then you just change it to 500 pips, which is going to be the sweet spot for US 30. And then if you wanted to take a sell position, you do the opposite. Short position, same thing, just click on there, and then it places it on the chart for you.
Okay, I'm gonna make that my favorites right now because I have the little screen at the bottom or whatever that I use,
Oh, the
like
little
my default
favorites
favorites.
tool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
so
like
I got that.
the more and more you do it, the more and more you'll get used to it. Because I used to do that too. I'd have that favorites tool, but then I use so
Right.
many tools where it's kind of like I just know where it's at, so I could just click on it. But yeah, the
Okay.
favorites that box does help because I've seen a lot of other people use that, and it's good for now. Like as you're still getting used to things.
Um, how can I make the pivots thinner?
Thinner, you just so if you click on the pivots like you have right there, you can either double click on it and then you can change this right here. So if you go to style, you can change the colors if you want. If you want to make it thinner or thicker, you just click on the color and then it'll have thickness right here. So you can do it thinner
Okay.
or you can do it thicker. It's really up to
Okay.
you how you want to do it. I usually have
Okay.
it like somewhere in the middle because I kind of want it like I still need to see where it's at. I used to have it really thin, but now that we're actually using it for a strategy, it's kind of better to have it a little thick. Not too thick, but just a little thicker.
Um, how would you compare trading the indices in the Asian session versus the New York session? Obviously, I know Forex moves much slower, but
Um, the indices they move a little slower. I mean, they still move. They move a lot faster than Forex still, but they do move, like you can see a substantial change. Like obviously, you can see right here during New York session, like each candle is moving like at least close to 1,000 pips, like 100 pips. Let's see. So each candle here is moving like 1,000 pips when the market just opens, and then as it starts to smoothen out, it still moves pretty heavy, but it's moving like about 500 pips, right? So if you compare this to like Asia session over here, you just measure these candles and you're like, all right, it goes from moving 500 pips to now only 200 pips. So it does
okay,
slow down a bit. Um, but I mean, it's still the same movement. Like it's probably just going to take longer for you to hit your TPs and whatnot. But I mean, it still works the same way.
okay. Do you trade the second half of the New York session?
I usually don't. So like usually once it gets to like 10 a.m. my time, which would be
Noon,
12 1.
my
That'd be like
time.
yeah, it'd be like yeah, it's noon your time, right? So noon your time,
And
then I usually take a break around. Well, I stop trading around that time because you can see here basically what happens during a New York session is so this is like 6:30. So you can see from like 6 up until 10, it comes down, right? It comes down pretty heavy. And then as soon as it gets close to like 10, like right here is like 9, 9:30, it starts to push up the other way. So that's why I usually don't trade like midway through the session because there's usually like two impulses. Like price will go down one direction, and then halfway through the market, it'll probably reverse or go the other way.
but to a certain extent, wouldn't that be irrelevant to for us as far as scalping? Like,
Uh,
couldn't we still find opportunities? Don't you think?
I mean, you could, but then if prices whipsaw back and forth, you can get stopped out pretty quick too. So
Okay,
like, so
okay.
like for example,
So
let me see this right here. So this is I mean, this would have gotten a little close. Like for example, there would have been entry right here, but you don't really know if price is going to continue in this direction. It doesn't always happen where it's smooth like this. Sometimes it'll go up, it'll come right back down super heavy. So if you get too caught up in that, you can get stopped out pretty quickly, because it starts to move a little faster around that time.
So do you think that applies to the London session? Because I mostly trade the London, New York, like as far as the second half of the London session.
Yeah, I mean, it happens through all the sessions, even during Asia session. If you look at like, previous market movements here, you can see that like so this is Asia session, right? It's pushing down. And as soon as we get to London session right here at midnight, it goes the opposite way. So it happens in every session. It's not just New York session. There's usually like multiple impulses in pretty much any session that you trade. It just depends on, how the market's moving that day. Like this week is NFP week, so we have a lot of volatility, but generally it's usually going to be a lot slower on a normal week.
So we shouldn't look for scalps until what, like an hour and a half after the session opens?
So for US session, yeah, generally, because you can see right here, so the market opened here at 6:30, right? You can see that the price moves like way too fast. So the problem with you trading when the price is moving this fast is that you can get stopped out before it hits your TP. I mean, you can get lucky and hit the TP first, but odds are you're probably gonna get caught in some nasty moves if you do, because your stop loss is too tight, right? We're scalping, so your stop loss is only 500 pips. You're not gonna be able to survive movements like this where price is moving like, see, this candle right here moved like 1,100 pips, right? You probably would have gone stopped out if that was the case. So I personally don't trade during that time. I just wait for it to smoothen out because, I mean, obviously when you're scalping, you don't want to take too much risk because, you keep taking back losses. It's going to add up because these trades happen so quick. So you just want to be safe. You want to be careful because you just there's no guarantee that price is going to continue going your way. Like for example, right here, I'm sure a lot of people, like what was his name? I think Kevin in the group. Were you in the live session today? Oh, you were actually at the DMV, right, or something like that. So like this morning,
I caught bits and pieces of it.
Oh yeah, so like
I know
this
a guy.
morning,
I know.
go
I know a
ahead.
guy was talking about buy US 30. I'm like, no, buddy, I don't know you. I'm gonna listen to Shawn.
Yeah, he was saying, he was like, Shawn, I'm trying to warn you, bro. And he was telling me to buy. And I was like, nah, bro, don't buy. So what happened was he bought right here, like right at the top, right? Like literally he bought right here. And I was like, nah, bro.
Oh my God.
I was like, bro, it's going to come back down. Like, don't do that. And then he's like, no, I know what I'm talking about. And I was like, all right. You know what you're talking about. Cool. 2 seconds later, boom, dropped. I was like, bro. And then he was like, oh, you got me there, Shawn. I was like, I know I got you because I knew what was going on. Like,
the market got him. The market.
Yeah, exactly. Cause I was like, he was like so adamant. He was like, yo, like don't like buy here, bro. Like Johnson and Johnson released this news, it's gonna go up. And I'm like, nah, bro, they're tricking you, man. It's literally a trap. And he's like, no. So he like entered right there, and then it came all the way down. I was like, nah, bro. Wow. Yeah, but I mean, that's why, like, for me, like whenever someone tries to give me advice to trading, I'll listen to it, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to take someone's advice, right? Because I know what I'm looking for and they know what they're looking for. So there's no right or wrong way to trade. There's no right or wrong way to analyze the market. It's just, if it doesn't fit my requirements, I'm not going to take no trade there. Like, I'm not going to take a buy here just because I see these bullish candles. This doesn't tell me anything. This doesn't tell me that price is going to continue pushing up. And this is how they trap people. Like, this is how a lot of people lose at trading because they try to follow these movements. They see this big buy here and they're like, oh, it's got to go up, right? And that's how they trap you. They're like, all right, we got these suckers locked in right here for some buys, and then they dump it right after. And it happens all the time. I'm sure it's happened to you before. It's happened to me before in the past where I used to do that too.
They dumped it heavy. That's classic market manipulation. They dumped it heavy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Heavy.
And it's just being smart,
right? Classic breakout trap. Plus, you definitely want to also be looking at the sentiment. You have a sentiment website that you use. I couldn't catch it. I have another one that I use.
So if you go on Google, you just search up IG sentiment. So type in US30, and it just depends on what you're looking for. So usually I just go on Google and I'll type in IG sentiment, and then it'll give you the IG sentiment right here, DJI.
Okay.
And it just depends on what you're looking for. You can, if you're looking at the NAS, type in NAS 100, and then that'll come up right there. It's really whatever you're looking for. Your USD. And then just make sure it's IG.com. And then
Oh, I use IG client sentiment, so you don't suggest that one?
I think it's the same thing, right? Does it look like,
No, it's different, I believe. It doesn't, I don't have that screen.
oh, you go on the daily FX. So daily
Yeah.
FX, they just pull the same information because they're using the IG sentiment. I'd rather go direct to
Oh,
the source because,
okay. Oh,
yeah, because this is what you look at, right? You look at the daily FX. Does this
yeah,
make
that's what I
sense?
look at. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool if you want to look at like all of them, but in
Right,
reality, you don't need to look at all of them, right? You're looking at
right, right.
specific. So this does work, but you can see here daily FX provided by IG. That they're just
Okay. Oh,
it's the same thing. They're just copying it over to their website.
okay.
Yeah, because I feel like
Uh,
this is kind of confusing, right? If you're looking at this here, I'd rather just look. If I'm looking for a US 30, I just want to see US 30. I don't care about what's going on
okay.
with Bitcoin and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah.
Do you use the scalping strategy for crypto?
Uh, I personally don't, but other people have. So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't actively trade cryptos like that, but
Okay.
I mean, I could show you. Let me see if there was anything here for like Bitcoin. Yeah, because the spread for Bitcoin's crazy, bro. I don't know if you tried trading it, but it's
I've
like,
traded it off and on.
yeah, there's like, I mean, it's applicable. Like you can apply the strategy on here. It's just, are you going to be able to get out of the trade, right? Because the spread's so wide. Because
I've taken my I've taken my greatest losses with crypto, especially Bitcoin,
Mhm.
uh, silver, gold, oil, and exotics are, man, they just do not like me.
Yeah, you know
So I
those.
try to,
Yeah, I don't trade any of those, bro, because those are like the most manipulated pairs, bro. It's just, especially gold. People love to trade gold, but I know majority of those people who like to trade gold aren't profitable. There's only like I know a lot of people like to trade gold, and I'll see them post profit sometimes, but majority of people that trade gold are not. They're not profitable. There's like a handful that are profitable, but the thing with gold is like they'll see a lot of profit and they'll get addicted to trading gold, but they don't show those losses, right? You see people post wins with gold, but they don't show the losses. But I know there's a lot of people that are losing money off gold because I'm sure you've lost a lot of money off gold too.
I've taken so many losses on gold, silver, platinum, exotics, oil, Bitcoin. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't trade any of that stuff, bro. I only trade what I'm good at, which is US 30. Like I love US 30 and I'll keep trading it for as long as I can. Because that's the main key. The main key is just finding what you're good at and mastering it. Like you can get good at gold, you just got to master it. But the problem is a lot of people want to trade every single thing. Like you mentioned, people want to trade silver, gold, platinum, oil, and they don't get good at anything. And it's like if you would just focus on one and understand how it actually moves, then you can be really profitable just trading that one asset. Like for me, I just trade US 30. If you look at all my profits on the Telegram groups, like literally all I'm trading is US 30, bro. And like you look at anything I post, US 30, like the whole list is just US 30, right? Because I know what
What
I'm.
about what about DAX and the Nasdaq?
I don't trade the Nasdaq. I do trade the DAX sometimes, but the only reason I trade the DAX is because it moves just like US 30. It moves the same way.
Okay.
So if I'm taking a sell on US 30, I'm taking a sell on DAX. It's not like I'm taking opposite trades.
So
But
how do you look for scalps? Like, do you just set alerts, or do you like constantly like just look and stare at the charts, or like?
well, if price is far from the pivot, then yeah, I'll send an alert. But most of the time when I'm looking at it, it's when price is close to the pivot. So I don't
Okay, okay,
because the thing with scalping is you can't get lazy with scalping, bro. Like, with scalping, you have to actually be on like paying attention. It's not like an intraday trade where you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna wait for an alert and then I'm gonna take a
right,
trade. Because if you wait too long, you might miss that trade because these trades happen so
okay,
fast. But
right.
looking at Bitcoin right here, like I was mentioning, there's a like you can see here that it does work. Like let me see this green candle right here. Or no, maybe not that one. Let's try to find something over here that I can possibly show you. These are kind of tricky. Yeah, because the thing with Bitcoin is that it doesn't necessarily, it's a speculative asset. So like sometimes you'll see it going one way, and then all of a sudden it'll just go the other way. Like it doesn't necessarily have it doesn't respect the uh, the structures as much, like how it is when you're trading something like Forex or indices. Like if I draw these zones here, you'll see that they do reject off the zones, but they're not really
Clean
that.
rejections.
Yeah, they're not clean rejections. You'll see like a lot of zones overlap, but they're never really that clean. Like they're still rejecting off it, but you'll see like right here, like for example, this bottom part, usually if you're looking at something, it's like a clean rejection, right? But you'll see price come below it, it'll come right above, come below for some fake outs, and it'll come right back up. It's not like something like US 30 over here where it's moving, it's rejecting off these pretty nicely. Like once it reaches point versus, Bitcoin over here where it just kind of does what it wants to do. But just looking at this here, I mean, there's a couple entries that were available. Let me see if there's one that I could find here that I could possibly show you. Let's see. Oh, like this right here. So this right here would have played out, obviously. This was, rejection off the pivot in the structure. So like that red candle or that green candle, either of these, you could enter a long position right there, and then it would have played out. So the strategy does work. It's just, the accuracy of it is probably not as high, because the thing with Bitcoin is that it doesn't really respect the technicals as much. It kind of bounces around back and forth. So I personally wouldn't use it, but I know some people in the group that have been using it and they found success. So, I mean, it's really up to you if you want to use it on Bitcoin, but I personally wouldn't, because for one, the spread's too high, and for two, it's just too erratic. Like the last thing you want to do is be in a trade and then all of a sudden it reverses on you and then it hits your profit and you're like, damn, why did that happen? Because it happens all the time.
I have Hugo's Way. Is there any other brokers you recommend?
Not really, because that's what I use too. I use Hugo's Way as well. Us being based in the US, it kind of sucks. We don't have that many options. So Hugo's Way is probably the best option, unless you have a lot of capital, which, it just brings on more risk. Because if you want to trade with the US broker that has indices, most of the time you have to trade on margin, because they don't give you much leverage. So you got to have a lot of money. And if you trade on margin, that's where it gets really, really dangerous, because you're like trading off loan money at that point, right? So if you lose money, you're going to owe that broker money. With Hugo's Way, you can
Oh
blow
my God.
Yeah. You're like taking out a loan from the broker. And if you lose money, you're going to owe some money. Like you're going to owe a lot of money. But with Hugo's Way, it's like you can take your trade. If you blow your account and you go into a slippage where you lose more money than you had, you just make a new account, right? They can't trace you. It's like, whatever. But if you're using a US account, they're going to trace you, bro. If you lose money on that margin account, they're going to find you and they're going to make you pay for all that money. So, yeah. So that's
I didn't know that. I knew they only offer like up to like 50-to-1 leverage, but I didn't know. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Because it just depends. It depends if you're using a margin account or if you're using a cash account. Most of the time people use margin and they don't even know about it. They they don't know about it until they get that call from the broker and like, yo, you owe me 100K. And you're like, what? Yeah. Because for trading futures, it costs a lot more. It's a lot more than trading a Forex or any stocks and stuff like that. Because each contract is like $100. It's not cheap. So just keep that in mind.
Shawn, I swear you like a damn trading encyclopedia. You got all the knowledge and answers. I just be looking astounded, like, man, you can't even stump this guy with a question. Yeah. Like he has the answer before you could even finish the question.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I've been, because I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm always like, whenever someone asks me a question and I don't have the answer, I'm gonna go look for it. I'm not gonna go and just be like, oh, no, because sometimes it's something that I want to know. Like with margin, when I first started trading, because I used to trade with TD Ameritrade before, and that was a US broker. And that's where I had a taste of margin. I was like, I went into some crazy drawdown one time, and then I owed like, I think it was like 5K, and I was like, man, I'm not doing. Oh my God. I was like, I'm not doing this shit no more.
Did you pay him, bro?
No. So what happened was the good thing about that was there was slippage going on in the market. So what happened was I was able to negotiate with them, like, bro, your system was like messed up and whatever. So they're like, all right, we're just gonna waive this fee this one time. And then after that, I went to a cash account. I was like, I'm not doing margin anymore. So thankfully I got saved. I mean, if I had to pay for it, I would have to pay for it, obviously. But thankfully, there was an issue with the market around that time.
So also, I'm trying to figure out like, bro, you like a clone or a machine. Like, how in the hell do you like have the energy? Like, how do you do all of this?
This is what I like to do, bro. This is my hobby, trading. Like I really like this trading thing. You know, a lot of people they don't really like trading. They just like profits. You know, they like to make money. But for me, I actually like the trading aspect of things. I like solving the
I mean,
problem.
I love the trading aspect. Not to cut you off, but like, I'm not like necessarily like talking about like the trading aspect, like just everything, like going on live, answering questions, dealing with Pikachu, um, posting profits to the chat, emailing us, the weekly profits, the monthly profits, just like, I'm like, bro, you need a staff of people or
Yeah,
at
no, of
least
course.
another, at least one assistant.
Yeah, you know, I try to hire people on, but man, the thing is, people are lazy, bro. It just,
Yeah,
you know, people get too comfortable. Because for me, I'm just too easy going. You know, it's like I hire someone,
right,
they help me out. They like, oh, Shawn's a homie. He's not gonna fire me until they get fired, and they're like, damn, he really fired me. Because like
yeah,
I've gone through assistance, bro. Trust me, I've tried to get assistance, and it just never works. It gets to that point where I'm like, damn, I might as well do all this shit myself, you know? Because it's like
right, yeah,
it takes someone like a couple hours to do what it takes me a couple minutes. I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna do it on myself
damn,
because
right.
that becomes the case. But no, like yeah, I've been looking for an assistant. I've been trying, but I've gone through so many people where it's just like, man, it's taking me more time to train them and to actually teach them to do stuff than it was to just do myself. So like now I'm like, all right,
Damn.
so
Well, they say if you want something done and done right, you got to do it yourself. And they say, man, you cannot do good business with family or friends.
exactly.
So,
Exactly. So if I'm gonna hire someone, it's gonna have to be someone that's not in K2. It's gonna be someone that's random, you know, or someone
right,
overseas
right,
that really needs the money. Because I don't
right.
paying someone to do the job. It's just doing it right and doing it on time. Because the thing is, if you like you said, if you hire family or friends, they get too comfortable and they're like, they think that they can do whatever they want until it comes to that point where it's like you just can't deal with it no more.
Okay. So you've answered all of my questions. Can you go through a couple live examples? Well, or maybe some good, clear, um, scalp examples from the past? Obviously, I know not to trade when the pivots aren't jumbled up and the market is just all messy.
Yeah, sure, bro. Let's go to I don't
Also, do you trade? Do you personally? Okay, because I know people in the group are doing 3 minute, 5 minute scalps, even 1 minute. Do you like trade any scalps other than on a 10 minute time frame,
so I
like the 15 or five?
Not really. So usually the five is my sweet spot. I trade on the five, but then I also scalp within. So if I'm taking a position, I'll take another position within it. I'm not sure if you saw that with the previous session I had with Alan, but I was telling them that like so for example right here, I'll show you a quick example of let me see if there's one here that I could technically show you. Let's see.
So you'll take a scalp on the 10 and look for another scalp on, excuse me, on the five.
So I combine strategies sometimes, and that's the cool thing about the K2 strategies is that they all kind of like intertwine. Like they're all based off momentum. So we can, you can mix strategies together, like different K2 strategies. So like for example here, like if you look on a 10-minute, uh, all right, so like right here, we have an entry, right? So let me just mark this up right here. Right here, we got an entry on the 10-minute, right? So for example, right here, we would have this running. So what I would do is I would mark this up right here and then I would just set it up like that. So once I have this set up right here, what I do is I'll go, like say if I'm already in this trade, I'll go on the 1 minute and then I will trade the K2SR strategy. Are you familiar with the K2SR strategy? It's the zone strategy that we use for the Forex bears.
Somewhat. With the red and green vertical lines.
No, no. So this one, you're just actually this strategy is not going to work on this one because there's no zones on this. Let me see if I can find another entry.
Because the majority of the time I've been with you is just really just take a signal, so which is like the
Yeah,
easiest, laziest thing.
yeah. No,
So
let's see if we can find an entry here because I just want to show you what I look for when I do something like that. Actually, let me go to an area where market was moving a little smoother because over here it's kind of choppy, so it's kind of hard for us to really find something. Let me see if we got something over here. Go back to turn on the K2SR, zoom out to this point. All right, so we got one right over here. Let me see if I could find something here. All right, so basically I would have that marked up there. Yeah, because this strategy is kind of hard to apply if it's not a live trade, because we kind of want to go back and forth between the 1 minute and the 10 minute. But anyway, just going from right here, obviously you can see there's an entry, right? We have a rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure. So if we were to take a short position here, it would be right over here. And then with that said, once we have this marked up, I would go on the 1 minute. And let me see if I can find some zones over here. So once you got this set up right here, turn on the K2SRs. All right, this is actually pretty good right here. So what I'll do is, like, we have this move already set up on the 10 minute, right? You saw me set this up on the higher time frame. So once we have that set up, then I'll scalp within it. So what I'll do after that is I'll set up some zones here on the 1 minute. And from this point, I'm taking quick trades. I'm like, literally, if I see an entry where price breaks structure, I'll take a trade and I'll write it down to the next structure down here. So looking at this right here, you can see that price is above the structure, right? As soon as price closes below the structure like that right there, then I would enter another short position right here on the 1 minute. And then I would exit once it reaches this structure right here. But I'm manually doing this. I'm not setting any targets. I'm actually like, because I have no stop loss when I'm scalping on the 1 minute because it moves so fast. I don't want to get kicked out of the trade before it hits my TP. So like, for example, here I have no stop loss, or the stop loss will be the same as, you know, the full position here. And as it moves down, I close out on my position. So I would have had that full TP for 500 pips off this 10 minute right here. And then I'd have an additional 200 pips right here off this 1 minute scalp. Do you get what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah, you should probably not look at this yet, bro. You need to master the original stuff first, because a lot of people want to try to do what I'm doing, but you know, people forget that I've been trading for a long time, so I'm able to do this without even thinking. So like,
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. This cat was distracting me.
oh,
So,
gotcha. Yeah.
this girl's cat, and it just completely just no. I understand what you're saying, but I think I would like really just could you show me another example in like probably like if I could like go back and review this video and study and just try to like really get it down packed, and then from there like I like you know I've lost so much that I learned that I would never ever do anything, whether it's a strategy or even signals. Like I would have to like perfect it and get comfortable in a demo first. So you know, obviously, I would want to start with the basics like this regular 10-minute K2 snipe scout strategy first.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%. So let me see if I can find one again right here. So there's another entry right here. Actually, I don't know if
So do you always look for? Could you do that with the 3-minute time frame?
the strategy.
The one, yeah, the scout within the scout.
I probably wouldn't do that because there's not going to be enough space. Like if you're playing it on the 3 minute, like the 1 minute, I do it on there, the scalp within the scalp, because it's moving so quickly, right? So you can get in and out like within a few seconds. You don't have to be holding it for too long, because the 3 minute is still going to be close to the 10 minute. Like if we look at this here on the 10 minute, and then we go down to the 3 minute, I mean, it's still kind of moving the same way, right? It's not really much of a difference. But if you go to the 1 minute, this is a huge difference here. Like these candles move way faster. So it's a bit of a difference when you're matching the two. But let me just see if there's some more zones that are here, because I don't know if we can. Okay, this is perfect. This is actually a good example right here. So yeah, like I was mentioning here, you know, we have an entry off this this red candle because it rejects off the pivot in the structure. So we have we'll have our setup right there for 50 pips or 500 pips. And then once we have that marked up, we'll go on the 1 minute. And then I will, I'll draw my other zones here. So let me delete all this stuff here. So technically we're already in this trade. So at this point, we are in this trade off the 10 minute. And then as soon as this candle closes below this structure right here, we can possibly take, another scalp because
Okay, you riding from structure to structure. So on this 1 minute time frame, the pivots don't even are completely irrelevant, basically.
irrelevant. Yeah, irrelevant because you're just going from,
Okay. Oh man, I got this. I got it. I mean, I wouldn't try it for a little while. I would practice it. But yeah, okay, I completely got it. I got it.
yeah, I mean, it's really simple. Like, for example, right here too, see how price breaks the structure right here? Like, but you don't just trade this on the 1 minute. You actually got to have a bias. You got to be trading in a direction before you take these trades. You don't just want to watch for price to break structure because there's no guarantee it's going to drop, right? You want to make
Okay.
sure that
Okay.
you're basically just doubling up on a position that you already have running. So like, for example, here,
Right.
price broke structure, from here, you could just ride this down to here, close out of that position, price comes back up over here, it breaks again at this point, you just write it down again right there, price comes back up, break structure again right here. Like, what are you doing? The same exact thing over and over again, right? Because it comes
But
back
it's
down.
always based on a 10 minute time frame. Like you have to have the 10 minute scalp situated first,
Exactly.
basically.
Yeah,
Like
you
okay,
gotta
all
have
right,
a full position going, and then you're gonna be
okay.
scalping within that position because you already know.
This is
Yeah,
crazy.
because
Oh my God.
you can make a lot of profit doing this. That's why if you look at my profits here, let me just show you real quick. Like if
This
you
is
look at
absolutely nuts, bro. Oh my God.
and it's like it's really consistent, bro. Because the thing is, you already know what direction it's going in. You already have a bias, right? So
Right,
like
right, right.
if you look at my profits here, that's why my profits kind of differ sometimes. Like I'll go from like making 600 because I have that full move, right? Like I was telling you, we got this full move here, this 10-minute move. So I got 600 off of uh off of that one. So I got 600 off of that move. Here's another full move, 700. I started taking another full scalp, another 600. And then you see these smaller profits, 136. The reason why it's smaller is because this is a 500 pip move. Comparing this big move to this smaller scalp right here, this is only a 150 pip move. That's why my profits differ because I'm taking the big move and I'm also taking the smaller move. You can see I'm taking some
Okay,
big moves and I'm taking the smaller
okay,
move. So I'm making 100 off
okay,
this while I'm making 700 off the other trade.
okay. Yeah, you would always mention the profits. Now it makes sense. Okay, so basically, do you do that all the time?
Not all the time, but when I feel comfortable. If I feel like if I feel like the market's good and it's moving smoothly, then I'll do it. Especially
Mhm.
like during New York session, I'll do it a lot. Um, During Asia session, maybe not so much because the market's not moving as fast. Because when you're doing this,
Okay,
you gotta have speed, bro. Like if you're doing this,
okay,
you can't be taking this trade and then waiting like 10 minutes for you to hit your TP because you're like, damn, I've been holding the trade for too long on the 1 minute.
right.
Or
So
if I
basically, like right after you put it in a 10 minute position, you need to like jump right down to the 1 minute.
exactly, so I already got this marked up. What I do is I have two charts open. I'll have one chart with the 10 minute, and I'll have one chart with the 1 minute, so I can just switch between both.
Oh, okay, all right, okay,
Because I don't want to mess up my 10-minute chart, obviously, right? I want to have that left alone, and then I have my smaller chart set up where I'm like playing around with it. I'm drawing different zones
okay.
because you don't want to mess up your zones. You want to have your zones proper on the 10 minute, and then you're gonna do whatever you want to do on the 1 minute, which is gonna be different.
How many charts can you have open? Like how many tabs can you have on top? Because like I said, I'm mostly like familiar with MT4
Oh, it's many.
with TradingView.
Well, whatever you feel like. Like right here, I got
Oh,
five charts. I got one, two, three. So I got my Forex charts right here. Yeah, and there goes our JPY. It's finally hitting TP, bro. That thing took a long time. It took like
right,
hours
right.
to get like 10.
Five years later.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So right here, I have my tab for Forex. I got another tab for my indexes. If I'm trying to compare the indexes, I got another tab
Okay.
just for US 30. And then I got another tab for my US 30 scalps. And then I got another tab for my 30-minute scalps. I got different tabs here, so I don't got to mess with it.
It
So it's
seems
like,
like every time I go from tab to tab, like TradingView is asking me like, do you want to continue or reload the chart or and I'm like, wait,
oh
what?
yeah, no, no, okay, I see what you're saying. Because damn, maybe that's wait, I think it's because your trading view thing. That's why. Let me see. Your
Oh,
plan. Because let me see how many device. Well, no, actually, you know what? It's because you have different trading view windows open. What you got to do is you have to click on this right here and then open a new layout. Because I think what you're doing is you have two different trading view windows open. Like you go to tradingview.com on one, and then you open another window. You have tradingview.com on two, right? So if you do that,
right.
TradingView thinks that you're two people. They think you're two people using one account. So what you got to do is you have to have
Oh. Oh,
tabs. Yeah, you don't, because you have separate windows open. You need to have different tabs, not windows.
okay, okay,
So like what you'll do is
okay.
you'll have like, say for example, you got this one open, right? Or whatever we were looking at right here. You just click this drop down and then open a new chart layout instead of having a
Wait,
separate window. You see that on yours?
where is that at again?
Yeah. So like right here, if you just go on this top, it'll have
Okay,
your tab name right
okay,
there. You just click this
okay.
manage chart layouts and then click new chart layout. And then it'll open a tab instead of opening a new window. Because if you open a new window,
Oh,
yeah, if you open a new window, TradingView thinks that you have multiple people trading on the same account, and they don't want that, obviously, right?
oh,
Because they want
right,
people to pay for their own account. They don't want you to be sharing.
right.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh man, this is not only a scalp tutorial, this is a trading view tutorial, man. Okay, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. I definitely needed this one-on-one mentoring session, man. I definitely a million thanks, bro. I'm so appreciative.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with TradingView that a lot of people don't realize. Like the only reason I know all this stuff is because I'm always looking for ways to trade more efficiently, right? Because like with a lot
Right.
of people, like a lot of people don't even know what they're doing. A lot of times they're just playing around with the charts and they'll make one mistake and they're like, damn, how do I fix it back to what it was before? Because I've seen a lot of people, they'll like have their charts be set up and then open it on your phone and then it messes up your entire chart. So I don't even open the app on my phone because if you do that, it'll overlap your charts. I don't know if you've
So
ever like.
as far as the 1 minute scalp, like, do you automatically take it, or like it has to be like between the zones, or like?
So like this is something that I haven't really taught people because it's really subjective. Like you got to actually know what you're doing. Like you got to know how to read the
Okay.
chart and like understand. Because like for example here, like I already know if someone else took this trade here. Like say you see this break below, and then I take a sell right here, right? A person that
Right.
doesn't know what they're doing, if they see price go up here, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna trip out. They're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna close this out. But if they would have just waited, it would have came back down, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so like this isn't something that I necessarily teach to people because it's something that you kind of got to learn through trial and error because it's so
Okay.
subjective. Like when I see something break like this, like I'll hold on to it and I'll wait. Like maybe if it shoots up to here, like up to the swing or something, then I'll probably
Mhm.
close it. But for me, like I kind of understand how price is moving. Like I know price is going to come below here, and then as it comes back above here again, let's see, like right here, as it comes back down, uh, sometimes I'm not even holding it to the next zone. Like sometimes I'll just hold it to like where it drops a little bit, and then I'll close out. Cause like what I'm
Okay.
doing is I'm just looking at I'm looking at my profit. Cause the thing with these 1 minute scalps is it moves so fast that in some instances it's better for you to just close out and profit than to just hang on to it and like, pray that it's gonna hit more profit. Cause most of the time if you don't know what you're doing, it's all luck. You have to trade with skill. You can't be trading with luck because your luck runs out after so many tries. So
Right.
this is why I don't recommend this for new traders. But I mean, if you want to test it out, you can do it on demo. But I don't necessarily think you should do this on live just yet. Just focus on the number on the other strategy. Because the thing with this, if you're trading on the 1 hour, you'll get hit with greed, bro. Obviously, you'll hit with greed because you'll see right here, like say it drops down to this point. Because I'm trading like 5 lots, right? So like when it drops down to like to this point right here, I'm already up like $100. And sometimes in this case, I'll probably just close it out. I'll be like, all right, I'm up like 100, $200. I'm gonna close it out and I'll do it again. For other people, they might be like, no, I want to lock in another couple hundred. Or like, for example, here. So like, how I told you we're supposed to exit when you reach like the structure right here? What
Right.
happens is I'll exit because I'm not trying to take any extra risk. What happens with a lot of people is they get greedy. They're like, oh, I'm already up like 1,000 right here. I'm going to let it keep going because I think it's going to keep pushing down further. Because if you look at it here, if you see price dropping like this, a normal person would be like, oh, it's going to keep dropping because they're going to look over here and they're going to be like, oh, it already dropped at this point. So it's bound to drop again, right? That's like common. That's what people would commonly think. But
Right.
me, it's like, I'm not going to take that risk. Like I'm not going to throw away my $1,000 profit here just to make a couple hundred more bucks right here. I'm like, I'm going to take
Right.
the money and be happy. But some people will just hold on to it and they won't close it. And then what happens from that point, they lose all their money. It goes right back to
Right.
where it was. But if they would have just closed it, they could have got out right here with some profit, wait for it to come back up. And then as it comes back down, do the same thing all over again, right?
Yep. I think I want to start profiting from the uh, original strategy, the 10-minute strategy, before I get to this more advanced strategy because it's a little more riskier and then you got to be more quicker.
Yeah, exactly. You should just stick to the 10-minute, and then like I always tell people, you should go from like higher to lower. Don't go straight to the 3-minute, because you're like, so what happens is people get too impatient, right? Like even for the 10-minute, if you were watching the session earlier, I was like, man, I'm getting kind of bored, like waiting for this trade. And then I was
Right,
like,
right.
yeah. So the thing is, if you get bored, you're gonna start making mistakes because you start getting sloppy. You start, you're not on point with like what you're looking for, and you're just literally trying to get into a trade, no matter if it's good or bad. So yeah, my recommendation is just to stick to the 10-minute, master that. Once you're good with that, then you can start, going off into other things. But I think for now, this is probably going to be your best option.
Okay. Can you go over like one more 10-minute scalping sell and like one 10-minute scalping buy, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Let me go to this 10-minute. Let's see. I think there was probably one over here. See if I can find these. All right, let me just replay it to this point. Let's see. All right, we got one right over here. Let's draw the zone. Turn this off. All right, so looking at this right here, you can see that we have a buy scalp right here for this red candle. The reason for this is because we have the rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure. And with that said, we enter a buy scalp right here for a long position. We set it up to 500 pips.
At the beginning of the next candle, right?
Yeah, since this was a red candle, I'll go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Where's I see you counting down a candle like time. Where's that at?
What was that, bro? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I see you sometimes like you count down like, okay, this next candle will open in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Yeah. So looking at this right here, you see how this is well, I mean, there's so that isn't a live chart, but if you're looking at a live chart like this right here, it has a countdown right here on the right side. See how it's going down 50, 10.
Okay. Okay.
So if you're
Okay.
looking at, you can't see it here right now because we went back in time, but normally
Right, right.
it would have a countdown right there. So like usually I'm just
Okay.
waiting for this. I'm waiting for this to close. It's like bouncing back and forth, and I'm like, all right, if this closes and everything's met right there, then we're gonna have an entry. So that's why I'm counting down like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then as soon as this closes, like right here, I have my finger on the buy button already. So as soon as it happens, I hit buy and I'm in the trade, and then I'm in a perfect entry point, and then we let it run from here, and there you go, full TP within like 10 minutes. So that's pretty much how it's done. It's pretty simple for the most part.
So if I see a green candle, I'm looking for a sale.
No, so the candle colors don't matter. It's just where the wick rejection is. So if the wick rejection is from the bottom, it's a buy. If the wick rejection is from the top, so right here, wick rejection is from the top, that's a sell. So if you took this here, that'd be a full TP right there. And then if you get the wick rejection from the bottom, that would be obviously another win right there as well.
Okay, I got you. Oh man, I can see this clearly. I clearly understand. So I want to definitely start demo trading it.
Definitely, bro. I'm in profit 1,000 right now. Check that out. What's good?
Oh man, that's what's up. That's a blessing, man. I'm happy that you were able to make some money on it.
Yeah, and I'm right here on this live.
So you know what I'm saying? I need 20% of that for being your manager and all that. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, man. See, this is how easy it is, bro. Like once you get this down, you can start locking in profit. Like, bro, I'm here talking to you. We're having a conversation, and where I'm teaching you while I'm taking these trades, right? So, like, once you get it down and this becomes second nature to you, like, bro, you can do so much. Like, I could be on my phone texting, I could be on Instagram, I could do whatever I want. I play with my dog, and I still have my scalps running, and then I close out in profit. So
yeah. I mean, it's not a lot of elements to it, and it's very simple. But I mean, it's just a matter of a learning curve, and just getting used to it, and sort of kind of just forgetting and throwing out the rest of the junk in my mind.
yeah, exactly.
And I think just over time and practice and repetition.
And that's just what it is, bro. It's really repetition, because like I try to make it as simple as possible, and it's crazy because people still get it wrong, bro. Like there's only two requirements there, or three, I guess. That
Right.
the third one is a given, bro. You just look at the candle and you're like, oh, is it touching the body? No. So it's not even really a real requirement. It's kind of just looking at the candle. So
Right.
it really is simple. Like for me and you, like I can just identify anything. I'll just scroll through here. I'm like, oh, there's an entry right. There's an entry right there. There's an entry right there. It's really not that difficult in
So
reality.
what's the first rule, or what's the first thing? Do you look at structure first or the pivots as
Pivot's
far as
gonna
the
be number
rejection?
one. Yeah, pivot rejection is number one.
Okay.
Structure is always gonna be secondary, because
Okay. Okay.
yes, you just want, because like I mentioned before, the initial strategy was just the pivot. I didn't even use the structure before, but then
Okay.
I need to figure out, how can I make the strategy better? And that's why, like with K2, that's why we always have new stuff, because for me, I'm always learning, bro. Like I've been trading for 10 years now, but I'm still learning. And when I find something new, I teach you guys, because like, there's enough profit to go around, honestly. A lot of people like try to use this scarcity tactic where they're like, oh, there's winners and losers. Obviously there's winners and losers, but if you're scalping, you're only in that trade for a few minutes. So you can make your money real quick, get out, and then everyone can do the same thing. It's not like an intraday trade where you got to be holding on to that trade for like days, if not weeks, if not, if you're swing trading. Some people hold on to trades for like months and whatnot.
My goodness.
I can't do that, bro. My patience
No.
is not that
Yeah.
that heavy.
I hate holding on to a trade for more than a few days. Actually, I prefer to get in and out in a few hours, but you got to take what the market gives you.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the cool thing about trading with US 30, bro. The market's always going to give you opportunities. So like if you ever miss a trade, I never recommend hopping in late. Just wait for that next one, because it's bound to come.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, I think I'm pretty much finished. I'm done. I don't want to take up too much of the time. I hate all the time that I already took up, but I'm very, very, very appreciative, and I answered all my questions. I'm in a good space, headspace. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
Ready
definitely.
to make these profits, man. So I'm gonna continue to demo trade it and probably go live next week, especially since this is NFP. I don't want to be fumbling around.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, like the thing with the strategy and like with running these mentoring sessions with me is like I could teach you as many things as possible, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get it right. Everything you understand, like you're gonna get it when you actually apply it. So the more and more you
Right.
practice, you'll have more questions over time. So like the more and more you practice, if you ever run into issues, just like mark up like or write down, where you run into issues. Like if you see a trade that's confusing, just like at the timestamp, and then what we'll do is we'll get on another session and we can go over it, because a lot of times it's just a little thing that might be confusing to you, and I can clear that up for you right away.
But I feel like if I do have an issue, it might be like one issue or a question here or there, and I don't want to take up too much of your time on schedule. So like it can like easily be like dealt with and answered, on the live. You have like the whole group in the morning during the New York session. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's probably the best thing too, because the thing is like a lot of questions that people have are the same questions a lot of other people have. Like some people are just too shy to ask. So like
Right.
it might be best for like people to just ask during the live session anyways, because I'm there to help everybody. It's not like, I'm singling out one person, like how we do with these mentoring sessions. And that's why I like having these live as well, like stream, because I know there's a lot of people here that have the same questions you asked, and they're just too scared to ask the question. So it definitely helps out as a whole.
Oh no, I went to one of the most prestigious Catholic high schools in Chicago, man. Everybody was smart. One thing I learned was that the smartest people were the people who asked the most questions.
Right? Yeah,
Those
exactly.
were the smartest people. They didn't have the answers, so they wanted the answer. I mean, these days, technology has changed. We could just Google stuff, go to Wikipedia or whatever. But yeah, if I have a question, trust me, I'm definitely, I want to get some type of clarity and understanding. I'm not just gonna sit on the sidelines and be wondering, because this is moving very fast and you could lose a lot of money quick.
Exactly. Yeah. And you want to be 100%, especially if you're trading, if you're trading US 3, that's like for one, you want to be for sure. And for two, you want to make sure that you're doing it right, right? Because a lot of people trade US 30 or trade other assets that are risky, and they don't even know what they're doing. But here you are, you have a system in front of you that works, and everyone's killing it with it. So obviously, you already got the blueprint in front of you. Now it's just time to execute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right. Well, I think I'm good.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, if you have any other questions, you know where to reach me. Just hit me on that Telegram, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, whenever I
You
can.
already know, Don Shawn.
Definitely.
My homie from Wyoming.
Man, that's funny. That's funny. I never heard that one before, man. Homie from Wyoming. I gotta use that. That's a good
Man,
one.
I got a lot. Man. I got a lot. You gonna hear a lot from me. I got a lot.
All right, man. So yeah, I'm gonna hop on this next session with this next guy. But yeah, if you have any other questions, always feel free to reach out, bro. I'm here to help you.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, bro. You just don't know.
Definitely, man. So yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow in that live session then if you're on.
Man, I will definitely be on. My alarm clock is set. But like I said, I normally I'm normally up anywhere from like midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock my time. I'm normally up like maybe an hour or two, or maybe at the start of London. So definitely, I definitely be, I'm wide awoke.
Yeah, you
Start of
actually
London.
you actually got the best schedule, bro. If you can do that, trade London, you can make a lot of money during London sessions. That's where
Yeah.
for me, I try to do it, but bro, I can't stay awake, man. Cause I'm up all morning. I'm doing the live session, I'm doing these mentoring sessions. I'm tired. Once it hits 10 o'clock, I'm in bed. I can't
Well,
stay up.
yeah, I sort of kind of just had to sort of kind of just set my brain, or I just sort of kind of understood like, okay, this is where the money is. Just like, I mean, it's people who might work from like midnight to 8 o'clock. So, my female friend who I mess around with, she has a crazy work schedule. Like, she works for Ford, and like she like at the plant, and she works like 4 10-hour shifts per week, and two
Oh,
of the 10-hour shifts are in the morning and two are at the night, which makes no sense to me, but she does it, and like thousands of people do it. So,
yeah, you work in that graveyard shift. It's crazy.
but
Like a lot
she
of
works
nurses.
graveyards. She works graveyard only 2 times a week, and then the other 2 times she works in the morning. So like, it's just crazy, bro.
It makes no sense to me, bro. Yeah, honestly, if that was the case, I'm like, man, her sleeping pattern might be messed up, super messed up.
I mean, they do it. I mean, she's been there for years. She's had plenty of opportunities to, change the schedule, and she rose with it. So,
Yeah,
I think she starts like I can't even, bro. I've been messing with her off and on for years, and I still can't get the schedule situated in my mind, like for real.
oh, man, that's
You
funny, bro.
know,
That's funny.
she works like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm sorry, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And Friday she starts in the morning. Friday and Saturday she works from like 5:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And then Sunday she starts at 5:30 p.m. and gets off 4:30 a.m.
Oh,
Sunday and Monday.
yeah, that's crazy, man. I can't do that. That's like playing games.
Right,
With
right,
my sleep
right.
pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Plus,
right, bro.
I can't deal with people or bosses. I got to be an entrepreneurial freak. But yeah, I know you got to get going to your next session. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on it right now at 5:30. If you want to hop, oh, actually, I think it's gonna be a private one, but I'll see if I can put it on the live. But if not, I'll catch you tomorrow. I got another live session again tonight. Actually, if you want to hop on that.
Oh wow, wow, wow. Hopefully you could make some money during that session too, man. And I definitely think this session right here, I think was very, very comprehensible, and like a lot of people can learn from, because I feel like everything was covered. Like you
Yeah,
went above and beyond like any and everything, like almost that a person could think of, just because I'm just kind of thorough, and I had a lot of questions and a lot of things that I needed a little bit of explanation and understanding on.
100%, bro. Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. And this is gonna be helpful to everyone. So yeah, if you want to go back and rewatch it, it's gonna be on the YouTube. You'll see the date.
Can't wait. You heard me? Can't wait. You
Exactly.
feel me?
Man, it's gonna be crazy, bro. I'm you looking for your profits, bro, when you start taking those live trades.
Man, I'm be looking for them too. You heard me?
Exactly, bro. I got you, man. I got you.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.